Hey y'all, Nagier
Hi.
here. Hey y'all, sorry.
Hey,
We mean
sorry.
to butt in on the conversation here, but
No, no,
Nagier
we're
here,
good.
and thank you for being part of our Blerd Roundtable for They Will Kill You. Zazie, you know the drill. You just left BirdCon. And
I
Patricia,
did.
just in case you've never heard the term, it is a combination of Black nerd, a community of fans across sci-fi, horror, gaming, comics, text, and brings a unique cultural perspective to the genre. Thank you both for being here with us today. I'm going to really quickly start off by asking you both. Listen, I think at this point now, after seeing this, Zasi, I don't think I want to meet you in a dark alley. And Patricia, I'm not sure I want to see you at the other end of a hallway. I want to know for you what I want to know for you both in a satirical way. What is it that you hope people take away from your characters from the film?
I hope they take away that ultimately love conquers all
Yes.
and that strength can come from love and bond and um, yeah, that's what I hope for my character.
Yeah, I agree. I mean, for the movie, I think it's that good, good is a very powerful force.
Hmm.
And you can channel it and you can train it and you can utilize it. And that we have to develop ourselves.
Hmm.
We have our families. We think that they raise us. They often let us down because they're only so grown up and aware of themselves. And that at a certain point, you have to start making choices and developing yourself.
Yeah.
Thank you both for that. Next, we have Edward.
Hey, YouTube. My name is Edward Hong from the Nerds of Color. Thanks for being here. My question is, considering the film's themes focused on class and disposable people, this is a question for both of you. For how did that influence your approach of your characters in the film? For Zasi as a black actor, and for you as Patricia, whose character is married to a black man.
Mm.
Yeah, my character also, without giving away too much, has been in this experience for a very, very, very long time. And in America at that time, even just being an immigrant and being an Irish person a long time ago was its own group that was very marginalized for sure. And then her husband and who she loved, the world was not accepting of that. So suddenly she ends up in this really scary place, but they lure her with acceptance.
Yeah, I think for my character, I think I feel the looking down upon. I think right from the beginning as I'm coming into this space, I'm uneasy, I'm uncomfortable, but I carry on because I am trying to I have I have a reason to be there and I want to like get my thing done. But I think I feel the the energy of unease, but then also what how do they think of me and what do they think of me? And I think that um, this idea of being dispensable,
Mm-hmm.
I think does exist in the film. And I do think Asia is fighting back against that just because I don't have, I have maybe the value as a sacrifice, but outside of that, I am also more than that and have more value than that too.
I already know this film is a kick-ass film, but your answers made me so much more excited about
Ah,
that.
thank you.
Thank you so much.
Thank
Oh, thank
you.
you.
Nice
Next,
background.
next we
Thank
have
you.
Nick.
Hey, Nick Hamilton, Nitecast Media for Zazie and Patricia. Uh, Wanted to know just, I know we see the physicality of what it took to help create this film, but mentally for you both, how were you able to get into that zone to be able to disseminate these characters, to bring them to life? And was there any previous role experience that you guys took to help you prepare for these roles?
Thank you. Yeah, it's a great question.
Yeah.
Um, Zazie had to do a lot of the heavy lifting. I mean, you read the script, it's like, whoa, we got a human superhero heroine here. This is going to be so exciting to watch, but it's going to take so much out of her. I mean, for my character, it's weird because even though it's this supernatural world and this heightened reality, there's aspects that are really happening in our real world. How the ultra wealthy objectify and use and discard people that they think are inferior to them, or you know, are there to serve them in some kind of a way. And my character is part of that community that has created that world. And if you look at the Epstein files, that's what it is. I mean, it's as demonic as that is. And so to have a real human who's driven by love be the hero is, I really wanted to serve that purpose.
Yeah, I think that the mental preparation is, I mean, for the physicality, of course, I think anyone who's in physical in any way, there's always a mental element, right? Of like carrying on, pushing forward, even if you're tired and all of that. But then also the mental element of, at least with stunt stuff, there's, you know, you're dealing with choreography, you have to land the right spot, there's camera, things are moving, things are shifting. You're always either in performance or rehearsal mode and learning mode. And so that is a big sort of mental drain in terms of the physicality element. But, you know, for anything, I think there's always also the emotional preparation that you have to do for any character and coming to set, and, you know, your relationship with each other. And that was as much a part of it for me as the physical was. And I, you know, sometimes it's, especially like in like high sort of like octane moments where there's like fear and you have to work yourself up sometimes. And that even like physically, like if I was even just wanting to be like expressing scared, like I'm like, I need to move my body, because it's like your blood and your action, your mind is racing, and like how do you get into that space? And so yeah, I think there's a lot of but that's, I think, acting, like you're always, yes, you have the stunt element, but that comes in with sort of, I think, how actors will always prepare for anything, and it's just one extension of
There's
that.
a weird current too that I just realized that both of our characters have in separate lanes. We both have an idea or a projection on how someone we love should behave and choose us in a moment, and if they do or don't, how emotionally that impacts our next choice.
And
you know?
what is love, right, is like accepting that person's, you know, choice. I feel like, right, like I think of like parents a lot, or like when your children are very different from you, and you're like, I don't want you to be doing this or be into that. But then, you know, the expression of love, unless it's like they're in danger or something, is like, but I'm going to accept you here. And
Yeah.
I think our characters are trying to navigate like, how do I accept this person or not? Yeah.
Yeah.
Well, thank you both for your insightful answers. I really appreciate it.
Thank you.
Next, we have Dana.
Hi, my question is for Patricia. I was wondering, when was the moment that you felt Lily kind of lost her morals and became desensitized to what she was doing to others and the madness around her?
I think it was really early on, honestly. I mean, I think it was the moment that society put her in a position, in a lose-lose circumstance, a long, long time ago, when she found this place. And it was the only place that would accept her and her husband and keep them safe to some degree. I think that's when she decided to put on these blinders and not see what was really going on. I mean, I think she explained to herself that their love, and they should have had a safe place in the world, and they should have, in the whole world. And since this was the only place willing to not question that, she was going to serve this place then.
It's true. There's not a place in the whole world they would have felt safe.
Yeah.
It's really sad.
It's horrible. I know. So yeah, I think she gave that up a long time ago. Yeah.
Thank you so much.
Thank you.
Thank you.
Next, we have Jeff.
Jeff Stewart, the film Blerds. So Kirill seems like the kind of director who gives homework assignments, films
For
to
her, I mean.
to watch for inspiration. What was on that list, and were there any sort of characters from that you kind of resonated with, that you locked in on and were like,
Yeah.
I want to be this person?
I love this question because yes, there are definite answers. One huge character for me was Lady Snowblood, which is a Japanese 70s film, and it's about a woman who she's born kind of given her spirit is given this mission to avenge her mother, and the whole film is her following this mission. And I felt very much that Asia had this energy as she entered the Virgil. And I really wanted to embody the spirit of Lady Snowblood. And so I had her pictures like up in my trailer and up in the makeup trailer, and very specific images that I just, especially like when I was on set, I would think of scenes from Lady Snowblood and be like, embody. And another one actually was in Bruges. Colin Farrell's character was a big inspo as well. Kirill and I talked a lot about how that character navigates throughout the film. And, you know, my character kind of had these huge traumas happen quite young, and then she went to jail also quite young. And so we were talking about, like, there's a lot of sort of emotional drive in her, but maybe more of like a street smart, not book smart thing, and how that also drives her character and the emotionality of that. And so Colin Farrell's character was a big inspo with that. And then another film that I watched was Lady Vengeance, and then Afro Samurai was something else that was an inspiration. I'm trying to think. I personally thought Parasite was an interesting one, thinking of the sister character in that, of someone who's coming in trying to outsmart the rich. And I'm trying to think off the top of my head because there were many many things to watch. You know, Rosemary's Baby was another one that I watched. And then, you know, Kill Bill is sort of an obvious reference for style, and yeah, a bunch of things. So I asked for the homework, though, I will say.
Well, it definitely shows up on screen. I can't wait for everyone else to see the two of you versus each other on screen, because
She's
No,
amazing. Amazing.
she's amazing.
No, really.
you're both amazing.
I was like, oh my God, I can't wait. As a viewer, want to see this movie. This is totally up my alley. So I was so excited to be able to be a part of it.
Next, we have Sam.
This is Samuel Leggett with JSM in production. Congratulations on your film reaching South by Southwest. First off, Patricia, you're always amazing in this genre, and you're so familiar with it. But I just want to give Zazie your flowers. You are amazing in this. It was pure insanity. You really did that. The biggest home question for me is like the preparation, the training. How long did it take for the training? What did that entail? And then with the training, what was the hardest part of it, emotionally or physically?
Yeah, the training. I mean, honestly, the training, it all goes back to Deadpool. I think that initial stunt training we did, they really did like stunt 101. And to this day, I'm always like, yes, like how do you turn, and the punching and blah, blah, blah. So it really goes back to that. But then I started off doing boxing training for a couple of months beforehand with Michael Olajide Jr. He's incredible if you're in New York and need a trainer. Just beautiful, beautiful, beautiful heart, soul. And he is really great at what he does. And so I did that when I was at home. And then about a month before shooting, I went, when we were shooting in Cape Town, the stunt team and we met up every day. We did some conditioning, and then we did a lot of choreography training, and not only learning the dance moves, but learning also like this style of movement, you know, since a lot of it was inspired by Kung Fu action, and how to embody that, especially with the sword work, and learning the physicality of Asia. How does she move? Is she clumsy? Is she really like tough and like, and how, and putting that into the dance of the fight. I would say some tough moments, of course, the fight scenes were really hard, but the things that really, really knocked me out were the rain scenes. The rain is raining in this movie.
But
and
she was
I
barefoot a lot too.
I was barefoot a lot, and that was hard. The rain, the cold, because they can't use warm water because it steams on camera. And when it's winter and it's a night shoot and you're standing outside 12 hours just in the rain, you really realize that the cold is really your worst enemy. So I would not want to do that again. But
her attitude, she's the lead of the movie, and a set is really impacted by the lead and what their vibe is. And she was just so warm and kind to everybody. And you would see what she was putting out every day. And I would just feel for her, like, you got to be exhausted, man. That is a crazy sequence. But she would still just be so cool and warm and gracious to the crew. And you could see that she was like gathering her strength for this next 15-minute epic running down the hall, take 12, take 15. I mean, she was just such a badass.
Wow, thank you.
Incredible leader.
But I felt so supported. Like, everyone just showed up. Also, I don't know, everyone showed up wanting to be there and like came in with that energy, and I think matched the energy of like, let's do this, and so I felt so supported, and I was like so grateful you were part of this.
Oh my God, I knew you were going to be amazing, and I already loved your work as an actor, but also seeing your commitment with such incredible grace was dreamy.
This one.
Zazie's a hero.
No, I don't want to interrupt. I don't want to interrupt the love-in. My God. Hi, I'm Aaron Perrin from that hashtag show. This chemistry comes through, and even just a little bit we've seen. But there's something that I have not seen yet that I have heard about that I wanted to ask about specifically. Zazie, you've held a axe before, correct?
Listen, I'm sure in my lifetime I have once or twice before, but no, this was definitely the Axe 101 kind of sessions in this movie. The fire sequence, that was so fun. We prepared really hard for that one, and there was a lot. I think the studio needed convincing too that we weren't gonna like burn the whole set down, so we had to do like a test run of it in this warehouse, and we did, actually before we started shooting, it was almost like, does this concept work? We had to do like they set it up in a warehouse and they recorded me like running through the choreography with it. And there was a lot of pressure because Kirill hadn't really seen me do the character yet or anything. And so I was like, all right, we got to land this. But it worked out, and it was so fun. We had a great time.
But you were saying about the wig and about...
Oh, yeah, that scene, because there had to be a lot of fire safety, that scene I'm wearing a wig, and it was dipped in fire retardant, and then they had to set it up in a way where, like, if it started burning, I could, like, rip it off. So it was, like, Velcroed to a wig cap, and then I had to wear fire retardant clothing under my costume that had so just fabric that prevents burning, but then that was also dipped in stuff, and then my costume was also dipped in fire retardant. So there was like a lot of careful. But I will say, like, you naturally are like, I don't really want this fire near me. But it was fun. It makes you feel like, yeah, it's a little scary, but it's good. Keeps us alive.
Well, Patricia and Zazie, thank you so much for being part of our Blerd Roundtable. Thanks. They Will Kill You in theaters March 27th. Congratulations, and it's been a pleasure.
And we will kill you if you don't go see it.
Yeah, so you better. So, we will find you.
There.
Thank you.
Bye, guys. Thank you.
Thanks. Bye.
Just for context, if you're not familiar with the term Blerd, it is Black Nerd, and we have some amazing journalists that represent that.
Thank you for having me, and thank you for like showing the piece of the movie on your festival, and that that was very exciting.
Absolutely. I just want to just first start off by asking you, what is the collaboration process with your cinematographer that really makes this film as cinematic as it is?
Ooh, so that's like I was very lucky because I'm a big movie nerd and I like watched a lot of movies through my entire life. I basically try to watch a movie each night. So it's kind of and I like our my Cimarron DP Isaac Bauman is the same nerd as I am, even like weirder. He has very weird like taste. He's a huge Star Trek fan. And we during the preparation of the movie we just brought like all like very beloved movies from 90s and late 80s we loved and we grew up on and we kind of were fans of and like okay this is how it must feel, this is how it must look like that like we want to make a horror movie but we want to make it so bright and vivid and colorful, we want to make it almost like feels like anime and that's kind of what we chased and I hope it worked out well.
Absolutely, absolutely. Next, we go to Dana. Please state your name and outlet, please.
Yes, Dana Abercrombie, the Koalition. Thank you so much for speaking to us. What I wanted to know is there's a lot of tonal shifts within the movie. Can you talk about finding the right moments to bring in the comedy and then to pull it back for more serious moments?
Yeah, it's like it's interesting, it's challenging. It's basically there is no guidebook, there is no rules. It's just like I am as a audience member, I understood that the movies I love the most, they surprise you not only with plot twists, but also with like emotions you get. And it's so awesome when you don't know what kind of you will feel from the next scene and you laugh at one scene and then you feel sad and then you feel scared and then you laugh and then you feel shame that you just laughed. And those like emotional roller coaster I think gives you the best like movie experience and leads you to the like climax in the end. So when I try to do that, you can rely only on your personal taste, on your movie background, like looking how other people deal with that. And if you like something, you try to deconstruct and try to understand why it worked. Like in, for example, I'm a huge fan of South Korean movies and how they deal with genre shifts and like mix violence with comedy and with drama. Or for example, if you don't like something, you also try to understand why it didn't work, why it like it throw you out, why it's like immediately the joke destroys the moment and disconnect you from the character. So you try to like what I understood that no matter how funny the scene or situation looks from outside for us, for the characters inside of the story, it's like 100% real and it's 100 like you can't smile. It's like all like should go through you, and then you just like yeah try to feel it yourself. Like, okay, it's funny, but like, is it like funny in a good way, or it's like now like makes the next scene like more problematic? And then also, you just like you have moments that's like shouldn't be funny, and they are serious, and they are dark, and they like should be disturbing, and you go there, and then like something that if you go to, for example, I'm not a huge fan of gore. Funny enough, but the violence in this movie it's much more cartoonish, and you like know okay that this kind of stylization will bring the right level of irony, not to upset the audience but keep it fun, and you just like try to use like different tools to make it all work and kind of come together. Thank you.
Next, we go to Jeff.
Hi, Jeff Stewart of the Film Blerds. So the thing I noticed right off the bat was the editing, and more specifically, the sound design. Um, it was rhythmic. It felt like music, or sort of like setup, punchline, call, response. Was that something that you went into the project with in mind, that sort of editing staccato, or was it something that you and the editor sort of developed as you were in post?
That Yeah, that's an awesome question, and I am so happy that you felt that because I really rely on sound a lot, and I think that sound design helps you so much with the tone, with the like feeling of the movie. It's like and even characters. And the way how I work, because I also co-wrote the script, while I'm writing, I'm already building up a kind of score and soundtrack, and I put like songs and I put just like music, and I have this inside rhythm of the scene, and every scene while I'm writing it has its own like music references. So like when you read the script, you will feel this like pace of the scene, and also there are a lot of notes about like specific sounds that it will scratch like a glass. It will like will be like high-pitched bass or something, which I know like from the beginning that we will use. Or for example, this scene will sound like kung fu movie from 70s, and it will be like very flat and stereo and comes from frontal like speaker, and this one will be like anime kind of style. And then I even put like we have Bloody Samurai song by RZA in the movie, which was in the script written like in this moment Bloody Samurai hits, because I knew that like this is my character representation and it should just like land, and that immediately gives you the feel and taste from it. And then and then when we start to edit, we use all of that. Some music changes, some music stays, but funny enough, like when my first cut happens, like this whole movie is like basically there is no quiet moments. It's always music, and because it helps you to find the rhythm and to cut it. And then I just mute it, and I mute like a lot, so there is no music, but the pace stays and the energy stays. And yeah, so I'm very happy. And it's all also when you deal with action and fights, the way how we choreograph them and work on them, it's like basically dance. And you bring camera in and you make camera as another character, and it dance around the actors and they dance. It's all like to get to the right level of energy. I think it's very important. Yeah, I'm very happy that you felt that. It's so cool.
Thank you.
Thank you.
Next, we go to Edward.
Hey, this is Edward Hong from the Nerds of Color. My question is, was the character of Asia written with a global majority person in mind? And when I say global majority, person of color. If not, did anything about the story change once you cast Zazie Beetz?
No, she was written right away as a, because it's like, I'm immigrant, right? And for me, when I was working on the script, for me was very important. Like, I can't cheat and trick anyone that I like grew up in America, or but I know what it feels when you're outsider. I know what it feels when you like step in a place and you feel like yourself different or uncomfortable. And that feeling, not like specific cultural like elements, which I am like familiar, but not that much, but that feeling of what it means to be outsider, that was very important for me. So that like how the character appeared. And and then like just finding Zazie was such a luck, because meeting her, she understood the tone and the, like what we're gonna do immediately. And I remember that you write the story, you have your fictional character in your head. There was a lot of references and inspirations. Like Afro Samurai was this like the anime that like I want to capture the feeling of it and turn it into like movie. And that was in my head, but then you meet real person, and I talked to her, and after one talk, I remember how in my imagination, my like fictional character switched with her. And now like I just see her, and whatever I still like, I kept like tweaked the script a little bit, and I kept thinking about the movie, but now I just see Zazie, and I like basically build the movie around her, and now it's like she became Asia for me, and it's and I think she did her amazing job. I hope that because of her efforts, like this like pantheon of movie heroes will be we'll have one more kick-ass girl.
Thank you.
Next, we go to Samuel.
Samuel, JVS Media Productions. Congratulations on your film debuting at South by Southwest, first of all.
Thank
you. In an atmosphere of cinema like Ready or Not, Sisu, the Indonesian film, The Raid, even Quentin Tarantino's The Hateful Eight, it allows for a creative exploration like a crazy ride like this is right here. How fun was it to develop this script with Alex? But then were there ever any moments where you're like, I don't know if we can do this. I don't know if we can film this. This might be too much over the top.
Absolutely. And that was, it's you also, it's funny enough because it's my third movie. I made two movies in a different industry with different rules and restrictions, and then you write the script and I understand like, okay, I can finally be so free and so open and can go so far, and you just like push the boundaries as much as you can and like just check how like crazy I can do. And like the thing is about the Afro Samurai anime, because you watch it and it has samurais and robots and demons and everything, and you're like, can I be that free as a creator? Can I really try to do it? And then suddenly you find people who believe in it and like just do it, go and do it. And having also studio behind your back when you suddenly got resources to make like this batshit crazy thing, you kind of like every time like, no way, we are now really like 50 people, grown-ups, full serious, like spend a day shooting a rolling eyeball, and it's just like we all like very kind of serious about it. But if you just step back, it's so weird. But again, it brings you this joy, and I think this approach, trying to push the boundaries and get to this like space when it's almost like works like a fairy tale, right? And I think this movie, I understood at some point of like shootings when, if I saw this movie when I was 12, it would probably become my most favorite movie ever. And I understood that I'm making a movie for me, kid who loved movies. And it's like it wakes up this like real pure child's joy of watching cinema and being surprised and being inspired and be like, what the heck is that? I did it. So that's kind of things which I try to, and I'm very happy that we did it, and and I hope it will work out. But it's that's cool. That's fun, and it's fun. It's so fun when you really push the boundaries and you find like support in that, and people like really let's go there.
No, congratulations. Thank you.
Thank you.
Next, we have Aaron.
Aaron Perrin, that hashtag show. Congratulations on the film. I was really surprised because you get into They Will Kill You and you think it's one going one way, and then we go right to the left. I mean, straight to the left. Do not pass go. Do not collect $200. So what about taking the audience on that kind of ride in this genre really spoke to you? Because horror is especially a genre that relies on a lot of conventions, a lot of the reader knowledge or viewer knowledge on this is how this kind of story is supposed to go. And we do not get that here. I was like, I think we saw the second Sharp Object come out, and I was like, well, I'm just going to put the notebook down. I don't need that. Don't need that anymore.
That's true. But that's a fun part. I really enjoyed, with previous movies, I traveled a lot through the horror festivals, and when I understood it's the best audience you can dream about. Like horror fans love movies, and they love movies very honestly. They want to be surprised. They appreciate it a lot, and they appreciate the emotions they get from the movies. So it was a big responsibility. Okay, we are making horror movies, and we'll play with the audience. We'll give them this fun of exploration. When we started as a classic horror, a victim steps in the dangerous place, she will be in troubles, and you expect that it will go one direction, that she will slowly get her empowerment, survive maybe then, and everything. And but what if on page 10 we'll change the rules of the games, and we'll make her wolf, and we'll make her the most badass person in the room, and that's where it will lead us. And that's and it was a big joy and fun for ourselves just to write it and think how you can break all the classic horror tropes and rules. But also I hope it will be a huge joy for movie fans and horror fans to just go into this crazy journey.
Well, mission accomplished. I mean, I don't want to see Zazie Beetz in a dark alley now.
Yeah. Oh, you shouldn't. You shouldn't. I was sometimes I was terrified myself on a set. She is really awesome.
Thank you.
Next, we have Nick.
Hey, how you doing? Nick Hamilton, Nitecast Media.
Good. How are you?
This film, I'm great. How you doing?
Good.
This film took us, like you said, in so many different directions. It seemed like a blend of various ingredients. to come up with this film? And I know you said you consumed a lot of films growing up. So who were some of the directors that really inspired you and gave you that confidence to be able to say, this is my time. I want to be able to share various stories from my perspective?
Yeah, ooh, a lot. That's interesting. I know that. I remember, for example, it's so weird. I remember the first movie. I remember how I saw the first movie. I still remember, and I was like 4 years old, and I came back home, and my father just bought a VHS player, and we had one VHS tape for the next like half a year, and it was The Good, the Bad, the Ugly. And it's the first movie I remember I'm watching it, and I watch it for like non-stop, and since then I think it's still my most favorite movie, and I like huge fan of spaghetti western. But then it just like I kind of watch so much and explore different like cinemas. Of course, like Hollywood was always big and like huge, and I grew up on like Hollywood movies. But then you like open South Korean cinema and you watch that, and then you go to Bollywood and you're surprised how crazy and bold they are, and how far they could go. And then you watch Hong Kong action movies, and you explore more and more and more. So I think They Will Kill You is a very like postmodernic movie that like refers to like different cinema from different countries. And of course like Tarantino does that very well, and he was like big lesson to me how to operate with this type of like movie making, when you very open and free with the references you use, but you try to kind of put them and lead them through yourself, so it's like changes and becomes something new and fresh. Anime was big inspiration for me, and we tried to capture the tone of anime, and then you just like, yeah, and then it has like spaghetti western moments in it, and then it has Sam Raimi irony in it and some kind of jokes, and then it has like basically this whole story is came from Rosemary's Baby kind of type of situation, which like goes into different. So you just like put it all together, but I try not to follow one like footprints. I try to just like absorb more and bring myself into it, and so make it like original.
Well, go ahead and take your victory lap, because you definitely mission accomplished. So
Thank you
congratulations.
so much. Thank you so much.
Well, Kirill, thank you so much. And as you heard from everybody, job well done. It's been a complete pleasure having you today as part of the Blerd Roundtable. They Will Kill You in theaters March 27th. Congratulations on this project.
Thank you, guys. More than happy.
And I will be the moderator for the Blerd Roundtable today for They Will Kill You. If the word blurred is for context, if it's not a term you've heard before, it is a combination of Black Nerd, which is basically a community of fans across sci-fi, horror, gaming, comics, and text that bring a unique cultural perspective to the genre. We're very honored to have you here today. I'm gonna start things off by just asking just a really quick question. I mean, I sense just the amount of preparation needed for a film that is blending over multiple genres here. Can you talk, because I think it's easy to focus on a lot with the stunts and the choreography with that, but could you talk about other measures of preparation that went into this? And was there any parts that may have made you uncomfortable because it was completely fresh for you?
Well, I did a lot of preparation for the stunts and the fight scenes, and I got to South Africa where we were shooting early, and we had a great stunt team, and we would rehearse the fight scenes over and over and over and film them, and that was really cool. And what I did to prepare was kind of come up with a backstory to explain like why I joined the cult, and I don't know, that was pretty interesting and disturbing and juicy, you know?
Yeah, I was so impressed. It was one of the biggest selling points for me on the film. I met Kirill, our director, writer-director, and in LA before, like, as the job was being offered to me, he was like, here's the script, and what do you think, and here's this, and also here's my shot list. And it was like months and months and months before we were ever meant to start. He had an entire, like, the whole movie planned, shot for shot. And I thought, wow, like, this is exactly the way I want to shoot such a technical film. I felt safe already going into it, knowing that all of these crazy things that were about to happen in this movie were planned down to a T so that no one's time was going to be wasted. We were all going to be safe, and we could ensure that we were going to get the best shot every time with whatever resources that we had. Because, sometimes you only have, like there's one exploding body. We only had a couple of those, So the level of preparedness from Kirill really made me feel like I could then focus on the emotional inner life, and the rest of it around me was going to be handled with a lot of attention and care.
Thank you, Heather and Myha'la. Next, we're going to go to Edward.
Hey, you too. My name is Edward Hong from the Nerds of Color. Pleasure to have you both here.
Hi.
My question is that considering how ambitious the film is in terms of tonal changes and the stunts and the gore and everything, what were the most intimidating aspects, if there were any, that you encountered while filming this movie?
I did a scene on a ladder for the first time. We're climbing up the elevator shaft, and it was super duper technical. We only had like 15 or 20 feet of elevator, and it was meant to be, the scene takes place over floors and floors and floors. So like there was so much technical about it, where the microphone had to be placed to account for the harness because we were strapped in, and then like where my harness line was going to go compared to where Zazie's was, because we were on top of each other. And then there's a part where somebody's chasing us and we have to like look down this way, and we could only shoot it from one side of the elevator because not all the walls would come out. So there was a lot of like technical elements on top of the fact that we were climbing then for like 6 hours. So that was probably the biggest physical and also then emotional and technical challenge for me.
I think like when I would do the fight scenes with Zazie, like you'd have to have a certain amount of force when you're like punching toward her face, but like go to the side of her face, and then she would do the same. And so there is an aspect where you're like, oh my gosh, is she gonna miss and like hit me? But then Kirill would be like, make it look real, go harder. And so you're trying to go harder and harder, but you're like, God, I hope I don't actually really hit her, which thank God I never did. But when her fist is coming close to your face, or you have like a prop and you're trying to hit her with a prop, you do get a little scared, like I hope she doesn't accidentally like really hit me or something.
Well, I'm glad to hear no one got injured while filming this. Thank you.
Next, we have Samuel.
Hey, how you doing? This is Samuel Leggett from JVS Media Productions. Congratulations on the film debuting at South by Southwest. Both of you guys have experience with the horror genre. I think you, Myha'la, with Bodies, awesome. And then more recently, A Suitable Flesh for you, Heather. Yeah. As far as like the experience as a performer working in the horror genre, because it's so multifaceted now, can you guys talk to that? Like, as far as like your experience, like, do you love it? Is it more freeing? Because now there's different layers to what you can be able to do that you couldn't do before.
I mean, I'm easily scared. Like, I relate. Like if I watch a horror movie, I'm like, I got to watch it during the day. I got to be around other people. I got to do something at night. Like, I get very scared. But I mean, some horror movies are fantastic, and they're so creative, and they're so really well done and great stories. So, I just want to be in good films. So, recently I have been in some horror, and you get to work with really talented people like you, like the director, and the Muschiettis. So I felt grateful I got to work with so many talented people.
Yeah, this is a tough one for me. I'm not a big horror girly because, as Heather said, I'm really, really easily frightened. And I don't do very well with gore. Even talking about some of it makes me a bit like... So going into it, I have to be mindful of like where my eyes land to make sure that I'm not like scaring myself at work. But what I appreciate about it is like it really takes so much more work technically than people really understand. To be scared or to be scary for 10 hours a day is physically exhausting. I have never been more tired in my life than I was when I shot Bodies, because we did, 5 weeks of overnights, and we're like, ah! And the amount of like cortisol and adrenaline that's like pumping through your body, it's still very real. So I think as a genre, it's one of the most underrated for how difficult it really is to pull it off emotionally. And let's not even get into how difficult it is to do all the technical stuff in terms of gore, and also a lot of people try to do so much of the stuff practically. We had real fire on this set, which was a nightmare for production, but it is so beautiful in the film. So I think what challenges me the most is to like lock in to be able to do my emotional job, and also then to just like physically be able to withstand how technically difficult it is.
No, thank you guys so much. Congratulations again.
Thank you.
Thank you.
Next, we have Aaron.
Hi, Aaron Perrin from that hashtag show. Congratulations on the film, you guys.
Thank you. Thanks.
Sam scooped me on my question because I was going to ask, 'cause I knew you weren't like a horror girl. And I knew you weren't down for it, which solidarity, I too am a chicken. Now I'm going to ask you about this fire because I think I know what you're talking about, but it is scary in its own way. Maybe not like being in an abandoned house, but still very, very real, very, very dangerous. But it yields this like a really amazing shot that people are going to lose their minds over when they see it. Like, how was it to have all of this stuff planned down to the point where you don't really fear being in an elevator shaft or being in like a spooky house and you're like, what was that noise from, 14 feet away?
I think using the fire as an example, that is a really complicated day, and it required a lot of people. We had like the fire department was there, the police were there, a lot of security, and then of course like the rain to the water to put the fire out and to reset. There were so many people as well in the actual scene. So the benefit of having someone like Kirill who's so overly prepared is that we didn't waste any time. Everybody knew exactly what their role was. In fact, I think I came to set to watch and they were like, can you get out of the way? And I left the set because we were working, So yeah, I think being prepared for something on that in the way that he was, to like the fullest extent that you could possibly be prepared, is the best way to keep people safe and the best way to get the best shot.
He has a complete shot list planned out. He had so many cool shots. I mean, I think months in advance he had every single shot with his director of photography, like this is going to be everything was so planned in advance. I mean, he created so many cool shots. There's like a shot where he attached a knife to the camera and it spins around before it like hits me in the butt. And it's like, I'm like, how did you even think of that? Like the camera has a knife and the knife is spinning. I mean, it's so creative. And I think he's just a total film nerd. Talking about being a nerd, he has watched every movie and he thinks about every shot and prepares so much in advance.
I was wondering about that knife. I didn't know how he shot that. I was like, how did this happen?
No, it's attached to the camera, and then they would twirl it and go like around. I'm like, wow, this is like a crazy shot. Like, and then it just goes bang in my butt.
So good.
I'm glad you're both safe. Thank you so much.
Thank you.
Next, we have Nick.
Hello, ladies. Nick Hamilton, Nitecast Media. Let me just say this was a kick-ass film. For both of you, when you initially got that script, what jumped out at you both to say, yeah, I got to be a part of this immediately?
It's great writing. It's a great story. It's unusual. I never saw anything like that before. There's so many twists and turns. I mean, I love like cool female characters, and there were a lot of really cool female characters. And it was just like complicated and interesting and funny and mixed the genre of horror with comedy and with action.
Yeah, I really appreciated that on every like 10, 15 pages I was asking myself, what genre is this movie? Like, what is this? And I think that, like, because I don't know, that means that there's room for discovery. It means that someone is going to teach me something about a new way to make this genre or to bend it around. I think bending and breaking the rules is how you make something new, or how you make new discoveries, or just like refresh or reinvigorate something. And I really, really appreciated that. I also love a challenge. So the idea that we were going to come in and like figure this thing out together, which Kirill was all about, I really appreciated and was very excited to be a part of.
And there's a heartfelt story with you and Zazie, which is really the emotional core, which is cool.
No, you ladies did a great job, and I will say not just horror, but I think there's a thriller aspect to it as well. So congratulations.
Thank you.
Next, we have Dana.
Hi, Dana Abercrombie, the Koalition. My question is for Myha'la. You have such a very complex character when it comes to Maria. Can you talk about how her background affects the choices that she makes today?
Absolutely. Her trauma as a child, her suffering with these feelings of abandonment, I think are the things that inspire this deep, deep survival mode that she's in. And it's about protecting herself and finding a safe place for her to survive, is what drives her entire being at this place. And then, of course, the thing that breaks that for her is love, and is understanding, and is her deep bond with her sister, and nothing is more important than that in the end. And I think she also says, what's the point? Like, there's a suggestion, what's the point of survival if it's not going to be a life full of love or a life with my sister? You know, her choices change then based on her heart. But trauma is the thing that gets, trauma or desperation is the thing that gets all of these characters into that building.
Thank you.
Thank you.
That's really moving. I'm like, oh.
Agreed. Next, we have Jeff.
Hi, Jeff Stewart, the film Blerds. Everyone else stole my questions.
Great.
So I'm going to ask, for both of you, was there any particular scene that you were really excited about? Like you were standing in the mirror, like, I'm going to kill it today. This is my scene. Without giving away to like any spoilers or anything like that. But what was the thing that you were really looking forward to?
Well, I'm into like pretty intense like fight sequence scenes, and I was definitely like nervous but excited because I haven't done a lot of like stunts that last for like 10 minutes. You know what I mean? Like scenes that are like full stunt fight scenes that are like long scenes. So I thought that was really like fun and exciting.
I really can't tell you about the thing I was looking forward to the most without spoiling the.
But you have
entire
that
movie.
huge scene at the end. That's huge.
That's the one.
Yeah, you don't want to give away the plot, but
No.
Yeah.
There's a couple of them, but there was one scene that we had to reshoot that I'm going to say this as cryptically as I possibly can. I'm communicating without words, and I was practicing that communication without words and really looking forward to how can I drive this home. I want to touch every heart in the audience by communicating without my words. And so I hope I do.
I am very intrigued now. Thank you so much for being here today, but also just for being in this movie because it's wild.
Thank you.
Thank you.
All right, so Nagier, the Culture Collective, really quick question for you, Heather. Did you take anything home? I don't want you to get in trouble, but did you take anything home in terms of props or I don't know? I'll just say that.
Well, I will say that Kirill came to my house in LA and he gave me an eyeball, and it's an eyeball keychain, and the eyeball is my eyeball, and I'm really touched by that. It's in a special place in my house. And just to let you know, there is an eyeball coming to our premiere tonight. The eyeball arrived at the airport with a suitcase. It checked into the hotel room, and it's going to be taking cast photos with us tonight.
She's currently in glam. She's getting ready for the red carpet.
Getting ready, hair and makeup. Yeah.
Oddly enough, that didn't make our roundtable schedule today, but that's okay.
Oh, that's too bad. That's too bad.
Next time.
Yeah.
Next, we have Edward for a second question.
I'm actually good. You can move on to the next person.
Hey, we love it. Next, we got Sam.
Yeah, so Kirill, one of the things he told us was that he had a lot of inspiration from, of course, horror and different genres, but anime specifically. And I was curious, you guys' connection with your specific characters in this movie. Did you guys have a favorite anime or horror that kind of gave you inspiration for your characters in this film specifically?
I mean, for me, he recommended to watch Sympathy for Lady Vengeance and Kill Bill. So for me, when I watched Kill Bill, I definitely related to some of the fun antagonists, female antagonists in Kill Bill 1 and 2. I really love what they were doing and felt inspired by that. And of course, Uma Thurman too.
Yeah, so badass.
Yeah.
These are films I also were recommended to watch, but not for my character. Kirill was like, this is the most important thing for you is the connection with your sister. Maria and Asia's relationship, their bond. So he was like, go hang out with Zazie. So I did. We just hung out, and I got to know her, and I enjoyed spending time with her and watched the way she moved. And that was it.
And for our final question, we go to Aaron.
Hey guys. So for other being someone, I won't call them bad guys, but being an antagonist, right?
Okay.
It's a little bit different than, what Myha'la's doing or what Zazie's doing. How do you guys navigate all this? We already talked about you getting stabbed in the butt. There's a lot of stuff that happens to you that does that. Just I'm like, I never thought I'd see. My wife walked by and was like, "What is happening?" Also, where's the rest of it? So you've got such a talented cast of characters playing opposite, mousetrap, Home Alone style shenanigans. What was it like with the entire ensemble knowing, we're just getting lined up to get mowed down?
I mean, look, people are going to be cheering when I, get knocked down. But, I have to, as playing a villain, I have to sort of get into my own framework of, why am I doing this? And sort of believe in my choices. Because I can't just go, oh, my God, I'm bad. I have to go, no, I have a good reason for doing this. So, but it is I'm bad. I'm bad. No.
And you're so good at it.
I'm good at being bad.
There you go.
Can I say? Yeah.
Well, I have my pull quote. Thank you.
Yeah,
Well, Heather and Myha'la, thank you so much for your time today, being a part of our Blerd Roundtable. They Will Kill You in theaters March 27th. Congratulations and thank you for the time.
Thank you.
You're ready.
All right. Hi, Nagier here, and Andy and Barbara, thank you for being a part of the Blerd Roundtable today to talk all things They Will Kill You. Just for context, if you're not familiar with the term Blerd, it is a combination of Black nerds, which is a community of fans across sci-fi, horror, gaming, comics, tech, bringing a unique cultural perspective to the genre. I'm going to start off by asking you two a really quick question. It's something I actually just picked up from talking to Kirill in our last roundtable. He mentioned that he wasn't or is not a fan of gore, which we know is definitely not the same for you two. I have to know, what was the conversation on the push and pull to deliver? What was just enough to get him a little bit out of his comfort zone to deliver the film in which we saw?
Kirill said that?
He did.
He's full of shit. 100% full of shit. I cannot believe he said that.
No, but we might be learning something about him that we didn't know. That he's not a fan of gore. But the truth is that his first movie, Why Don't You Just Die, was gore galore. So I don't know what to make out of that. Maybe he does things that go against his instincts, but he really does it, and he does it really well.
We didn't have to push at all. This is all him. This is crazy. It's like, oh no, more blood. No,
Nobody
this
pushed
was
him to
him. This is crazy.
Thank you for that. Dana, on you?
Good Koalition. Thank you both so much. My question is, what was the defining either the moment or the pitch or the script where you said you have to be a part of this project?
Well, I can't. If I tell you that, I would be spoiling something about the plot. But there's one moment in the movie that is very clearly for us. It was like, oh shit, this is not what I thought it was. And I think people should watch the movie and see that for themselves.
But it was also Kirill. Kirill is just like an atomic bomb of, film, and he just sold it in the room. It was so fantastic after we read the script too.
Yeah. Also, it was easy to make a decision having watched his first movie, Why Don't You Just Die, because everything that was on the page, then we would compare it to what the potential of that movie on the hands of someone that did that movie, that directed that movie, and it was very easy to see. Yeah, that was it.
Next is Jeff.
Hi, Jeff Stewart, the Film Blerds. I was
Jeff.
going to. Oh, can you hear me?
Yeah.
Okay, sorry. Yeah, so I was going to ask before, why was Kirill the guy? And after talking to him, I know why he was the guy. I know why, this package came together. So the question now is, how was it shepherding him through the studio system, right? Because this is his first studio film.
Yeah, that was, I mean, that if there was shepherding to be done, that was it. Because, I mean, his vision in the film was so clear and he wrote it. So in regards to filmmaking, there was basically no shepherding. It was support. The studio, working with a studio is a bit of a dance, and it's something that we've learned with the years. We learned a lot from Guillermo del Toro, who did the same we're doing for Kirill on our first movie, Mama, and it's about listening. You have to listen to what everybody has to say, being polite, but also being firm about your vision and what you believe, and not letting that course be altered. So, we were very supportive when it came to that. I have to say that apart from that, we were very lucky to have, really good partners in our studio who really supported this movie and understood what this movie was and didn't think they had to change it. This movie is glorious because it is what it is.
Yeah, it's protecting the Kirill's instincts for us was important. And it's a lesson that as Barbie said, we learned a little bit from Guillermo being the producer to us in our first movie. And he said something that still resonates to us to this day, which is like, we will be producers when we're needed. So we'll take, we'll just jump in if you need us. And the truth is that Kirill has, for someone that did not do a movie in this industry before, he was pretty well prepared for it somehow, and of course we did things to help him and to basically lubricate that relationship with studio and stuff. But he was surprisingly equipped for the task. Yeah.
Well, thank you. It all shows up on the screen, and thank you for bringing them to us.
Thank you, Jeff.
Thank you so much.
Next, we have Edward.
Hey guys, this is Edward Hong from the Nerds of Color. My question is based on the production notes that we were sent, and there was something that stood out to me, that you guys said that casting this film was the fastest that you've ever had prior to your other films. I'm really curious about that. Like, what was it about this film or the working with Kirill that made it this efficient and speedy?
It was amazing. I think it was like a cosmic accident, to be completely honest, because clearly, we got all of our first choices, and that speaks to the film, and it speaks to Kirill being incredibly good at being able to convey that vision to actors and bring them in the project. But it's, the cosmic accent comes from schedules. We were able to work all our first choices into our schedule, and we shot in South Africa, so it's not something that you can say, well, they were able to come and shoot it in the weekend. No, we got incredibly lucky, and as a result, we have this just incredible cast.
Yeah,
very lucky.
I mean, we work with amazing actors that you can say they're in the new wave, like Zazie Beetz and Myha'la, but also we got other legendary performers like Heather Graham and Patricia Arquette and Tom Felton, and Patterson. This is we're incredibly lucky.
Thank you.
I would love to say no, it was all us, but it's not. It was just Kirill and luck.
That was great to hear.
Next, we have Samuel.
Hey, this is Samuel Leggett with JVS Media Productions. Congratulations on the film debuting at South by Southwest. But I just want to say thank you, Andy and Barbara, for your contributions to the horror genre with your It films and Welcome to Deer, which was amazing. I think it gave me this realization that now the horror genre is very multi-layered and multifaceted, where it's like a balancing act. You have like bloody action, but then you have like eerie, demented, different elemental things that are happening. And I wanted you guys to kind of talk towards that, because in different lines of film, like horror is also added. Like if you were thinking about like your new film coming up, would you want Christina to write towards Batman Brave and the Bold and have like horror elements added in there and finding a balancing act to it? So I was just
We
curious, y'all.
see you, Samuel. We see you.
Samuel, I wish I could talk about Brave and the Bold, but unfortunately I can't yet. So be a little patient with that. Of course, you can tell where we come from, and our devotion to the dark side of stories and style and tone, and horror is it's ingrained, imprinted in us. But unfortunately we can't say much about it.
But now talking back about film and the multi-layering aspect of horror, it is so wonderful that horror has come out of like a sub-genre place. It is amazing. It's fantastic. It is a top genre of film, and it gives you the possibility to convey so much emotion. Yes, with sometimes with blood, gore, sometimes just pure unpredictability, and at the same time express and convey all the emotions that will deliver you an incredible film experience. And we support that all the way, and I hope we continue being able to make great horror films for the rest of our lives, and others, but we love horror.
No, absolutely. Thank you guys so much for that. And I think that as far as us as the audience and even just as critics, like, we find the experience to be just as much as you push into it. If we can be able to feel it, regardless if it's a horror, you feel something, you connect with it, that's going to be everything. So thank you guys so much for that.
Thank you,
so much.
Samuel.
Thank you, Samuel.
Thank you for watching.
Next, we have Aaron.
Aaron Perrin from that hashtag show. Congratulations on the film. I just wanted to say, Andy and Barbara, hi.
Hey, Aaron.
I wanted to ask, like, you both call Kirill fearless. Like, that is the adjective. And having spoken to him for about 20 minutes, I get it. I completely get it now. Do you want all the projects that you guys carry, that because it carries your name, right, to have this sort of fearless quality with Nocturne and anything you guys do in the future? This like sort of boundary breaking, the lack of the ability to step out on faith of the audience, that even though things are a little untraditional, they're going to find the audience it's meant for.
We can only hope for that. It is, though, a journey, and some films are, fearless and deranged, like like Kirill. I have Andy pointed out a tattoo that I have, which is nek metu, which means no fear in Latin. So I really believe in this because I am absolutely fearful. So I have to remind myself that I have to like push that out of my life and bring fearlessness into, our existence.
And truly finding, a filmmaker like Kirill is a miracle, really. We don't expect everyone to be as fearless and full of great instincts and impulses like Kirill. It was really like a miracle, and we're open to getting all kind of filmmakers on every part of the spectrum. As long as they come, as they have a vision and they bring something new to the genre.
Absolutely. And Barbara, there's a lot to be afraid of. I don't blame you. There's a lot to be afraid of.
It's troubling times, man. But here we all are fighting the good fight with movies. Why not?
Absolutely. Thank you.
Thank you.
Next, we have Nick.
Hey, Nick Hamilton, Nitecast Media. For you both, it was a lot of different blends in this film. How were you able to get the exact measures right to make sure that you didn't go overboard? And how did this film help you grow as the production duo and prepare you for your next film?
Well, the truth is that the blend was made by Kirill. That of course, and when it comes to the post-production and the editing is the moment where we kind of, if there's more like wading in, because it's like other factors like pacing, and rhythm and flow come in, and we have like experience with, after like 15 years of making movies. We have like, and especially I directed all the movies I directed. I spent every minute on the edit room, so I kind of learned a lot from that. So I wanted to give Kirill my, part of my understanding. But what was the second part of the question?
And how did this make you grow just as the duo that you are and prepare you for your the next film?
Well, there's the learning experience of this was huge, for us. Like, it's a tone and a style that we never approached ourselves to that extent. We had to make this movie to understand it more, and I think it was like the reason we did it is because it was so much fun for us to go into this specific, fringes of the genre. And we learned so much more. We can spend an hour of telling you the things that we learned.
We loved it so much that right now, and I won't say what, we're developing a project in a similar tone, which I never thought we would, and we are, because it was so much fun to do. And that is for Andy to direct. So it definitely was an inspiration.
Well, that's fantastic, Andy and Barbara. Thank you so much. Appreciate you.
Thank you, Nick.
Nick, I have to tell you, Nick Hamilton is our beloved actor that played Henry Bowers in the first movie. So it's that's why we smiled when you came up.
Appreciate it.
Thank you.
Yeah, we're trying to get all the secrets from you all here today.
Yay!
Next, we have Dana for another question.
My question is, evolution of horror. How would you define it today, and how does They Will Kill You fit into that definition?
Would you repeat the question, because you cut out for a little bit?
I said, due to the evolution of horror, how would you define horror today, and how does They Will Kill You fit into that definition?
It's funny because I think They Will Kill You doesn't fit into any kind of definition of modern horror. I think it's a very specific combination of influences and instincts that come from Kirill, and I really didn't take the time to really analyze that. I love that combination that is made of basically of a amalgamation of old influences and new perceptions in Kirill's head. So unfortunately, I won't be able to answer that question.
But I will, I will say that it is fantastic to be out there with a movie that, it's fun and it's gory, but that also has a pretty devastating message on what greed means right now. Right now. So, I think that fits very well into the current definition of horror in movies and real life.
Thank you.
Thank you.
And we have Jeff for another question.
Yeah. So Kirill said something interesting. He said that he made a movie for like the 12-year-old him, that it would be his favorite film. So when you came to this project, when you did it, what was your intention? What were your hopes for it at the end of the day?
Well, it's funny he says that because it's like, of course, a 12-year-old you would enjoy this, but as an adult you would enjoy it as much, and not only because of the gore and the action and the horror and the comedy, but also because of the underlying themes that can only be
They're frozen, right?
Yeah, they're frozen. I just messaged up the chain to see what we can do. We had about 1 minute left on the clock. We're still rolling. Let's see if they pop back in. We might lose them here.
My question was too fire. I broke it.
Definitely, Jeff. We have to blame you.
Blame Jeff.
All right, 1 second. I'm getting to the bottom of this.
It looks like we're having some Wi-Fi issues in the hotel.
Oh, here we go.
Jeff, sorry, we were mid answer. Do you wanna ask the question again?
I mean, if I'm allowed to, yeah. We know what Kirill's intentions were when he made this film. What were yours? What did you hope the audience or like the cinema going public or history in general walks away with?
So there's something about the entertainment element to it that was undeniable for us. That's the thing we reacted in the surface. The first impression is like, wow, this is like, it's gonna be fun. It's gory. It's horrific. It's entertaining. But also we realized that there was underlying themes that were like very exciting to us, like the disparity and class warfare and all these underlying subjects that we want to talk about. It's acting on different levels, this movie, and we're all excited about it. Also, the comments about family and how far you can go, how far were you willing to go to protect someone that you love. So it's our excitement about this movie acts in all those layers.
Well, thank you. I absolutely loved what I saw, and I can't wait for everyone else to experience it.
Thank you,
Jeff, thank you so much.
And I also doubled down on that. Cannot wait for everybody to see it. And can't wait to come back a year from now to talk Walking to Derry season 2. Might I plug that real quick? But in the meantime, They Will Kill You, March 27th. Andy and Barbara, thank you so much for your time for joining us for the Blerd Roundtable.
Thank you so much.
That's a cut.